Hi, welcome to the Andrew Buckle book review of The Complete Web of Horror. And it is complete. Only 3 issues. That was it, 3 issues. But they did include a little bit more than that, which is really great. You've got an issue 4 that was never released, and also 5 and 6, or the lost pages. On the back, you can see a whole range of great artists involved in this book. I mean, it's just great. Obviously, some of their fairly early work. I mean, it's still high quality, amazing stuff, but it's there for 3-issue run. But it does, I say, include some other ones as well. True Treasury of Terror. This is from Fantagraphics, and the price is $49.99. You can see there the ISBN number. There's 300 pages. Unfortunately, and I actually looked online. A lot of people put comments saying that their book came a bit battered. Mine definitely really dented there and dented a few other places. And also, it really cracked. When I first opened it, it was worse than that. It was like that. You can still hear it. Really does crack, but you can see but it's just odd when you sort of creaks and cracks. A bit like a haunted house. Maybe that was the intention. I don't know. But let's get to the actual book. Quality is superb all the way. Brilliant artwork. Love the stories. Not all stories. Some of the stories are just average stories that you read once, probably never read again. One thing I slightly was confused by, they put the cover here. Why? Why not put the cover with the actual story? That would have made much more sense. I just think it's pointless. If they were going to do anything, why didn't they just sort of zoom in, sort of make it sort of that central part instead of sort of, because it's separated. Just makes no sense. And you've got there the complete web of horror. Berni Wrightson are dedicated to, and there's all the content. So you can see all the various people, obviously, there's 300 pages. So you've got the horror 1, 2, and 3, and then you've got 4. And you can see, of course, the same sort of artists all the way through, and also the lost pages. So lost pages, you got good, nearly 40 odd pages of lost pages. Maybe there are some more still out there. Who knows? Maybe they'll be discovered. And of course, if they ever update the book, they'll have to put them in, wouldn't they? But you've got a lovely introduction there, gives all details about, because it just stopped. There was a reason for it. I'm not going to tell you all the story about it. It's in here. So it's quite an interesting little story what happened. I guess it's one of those things. Things don't always survive. You would hope it would have been nice if they continued on for 10. Maybe this would have been one of those amazing mags. Because I've always loved the black and white ones. Obviously the Warren ones, all the various other sort of magazines that are very similar sort of thing. Obviously Marvel Comics ones, I even liked quite a few of those. Not everyone. And likewise in here as well. Now, one thing that I'm slightly disappointed by, Mother Toad, they didn't include many inked pages. There's a few bits and pieces, but not much. That would have been really nice. And you've got there, obviously, Berni Wrightson there. You've got some more essays there, the making of Screen Door, Stakeout. And now to the actual first issue. Here's the first issue. Now, the numbering's a bit odd. The content, now, I don't know if in the original issue, that's the way they did the numbering. Very strange way of doing it, but still, why not? 2, 29, 10, 4. Maybe there's a sort of some logic there, but still, you can see the details of the artist there, and you see December 1969. You see the editor, etc. And gross. There's a few stories here. This really looks like an EC story, like Wally Wood, actually. Many times I was thinking when I first saw it. This one's got a nice one, Bloodthirst. Good old little vampire story. That was quite good. That one's a nice one. The Game That Plays You. And the artwork is superb, although not every story. Some are better. I love this bit. You can actually send your own art. I mean, that's a great way of building it. I wonder how many people actually did that. I assume they photocopied it, or maybe they just drew the whole thing and sort of sketched it out and then drew that as your art in there. You could put a couple of clouds. That would be about as far as I would get. A couple of bats or something. I don't know. I could probably spend the time. But still, Dead Letter as well. The next one. Not the greatest there, maybe, but still, Skin Eaters. That was an unusual one. Some seem to have, like, right down the bottom, they've got their Ralph Reese and Terry Bisson, but many of them don't seem to have that. So quite a few of them, you're thinking, the artist, of course, you have to go back and have a quick look, and there you've got it again. I quite like having that sort of like down the bottom, because sometimes you can't read the writing, or you see, like, maybe trying to find who it was by. That was Norman, Island of the Walking Dead. I think that's been The Walking Dead. I love that series. And Venus Flytrap, the Frankenstein Monster Mask. And of course, then you've got the back cover. Oh, same as the front. But then you've got their Web of Horror there. And Mother Toad, obviously that was the one with the, I didn't actually compare it to see, oh, that's nice. I always love that, actually, a sort of page of artwork that's the inner page instead of just an advert or something. But then you got that. Now you'll notice another thing. It starts page number 50, 82. Now I don't know if they've been renumbered for this book. I assume that's the case. I don't really know. Or maybe that's what they did when they released it. Anyway, that's got what we've got, and a bonus cover as well. You always need a bonus cover. Of course, nowadays there's millions of variant covers, I guess that. But then, bonus cover, Mother Toad there. And you've got other, there's a Sea of Graves, and that one's Mike. Oh, that's a very unusual Mike Kaluta one. I love Mike Kaluta's artwork normally. That's a bit sort of unusual, that one, but still, it's good. And on to some other stories. And again, there are definitely very much EC comic bits. You just feel sort of, or, that's a nice one. There's the character there. And on to, I can't even read that right, in something, Unmasking. Oh yeah, that's a good one. Unmasking. Nice little story. You can, actually, so many of these actually feel like some of the House of Mystery ones, House of Secrets, those sort of things. They've got that same sort of 4 or 5 pages, as well as, of course, all the various Warren ones. But I think that there's a lot of humour in these. This one as well. I mean, this one, Man Plant from the Tomb. I really like that one. Real nice little story again. Some great art. Really good. And at least they've got the names down. Now, not every single one seemed to have that. Some did. Oh, that one's got slightly, Mike Kaluta again, slightly bigger, that one, for Otto Binder. I don't know if he has the same name. However, on to the next one. Ralph Reese there. And another one, Curse of the Yeti. That looks great. I love the artwork there. And on to, let's go on to another one. Of course, Berni Wrightson one there. Really, really nice. And again, you obviously could draw, I guess, there's someone in the centre there. Maybe Superman or whatever, I don't know. Strangers. And that's not again. Now, weirdly, they stopped putting the writer and the artist down the bottom. I wonder why. That's very strange. And I can't see anywhere there saying the name. Well, that's a good story. Next one. And Feed It. Again, they've sort of lost that. They put it sometimes and then they suddenly dropped it. It's weird, isn't it, when they do that? And, oh, that was because it was on, we got to all the way through to issue 3. Now, we're on to, this one is Web of Horror 4, and you can see they didn't colour it. It's in black and white. Of course, okay. Strange Illustrated Tales. Of course, this issue was never, ever released. So, who knows? 35 cents if you could have bought it. And you can see again, you've got another story there. And again, you've got the continuation of all the various stories and the contents there. Rat, I like that one. That's a nice little one. It's a weird one, sort of like the sort of thing that you see in 2000 AD, I think. Out on a Limb. Great bit of Wrightson artwork there. Always superb, most of his artwork. I just always think Quasar, that was an interesting little science fiction one. So I felt sort of a Jim Starlin sort of story. Wasn't Jim Starlin, but it's still great. Frank Brunner's there as well. And then Outside In, that's a good story. Bruce Jones, I love that one. Nice science fiction story. And it was a nice mix of some science fiction ones as well. Because I love science fiction stories. Unfortunately, science fiction does seem to always be forgotten about. More horror ones often in those things. But that was good. Oh, that was a good one as well. Death is the Sailor. So really love a sea story as well. This one, The Rat. Really very enjoyable. I mean, predictable. You can work out what's going to happen. You know exactly how it's going to end. But it's just one of those great little, I thought it was a really nice little bit of artwork. Hey, buddy, can you lend me... Now, this is a bit of a weird one. I must admit, it wasn't... Hey, buddy, can you lend me a... That story there. And then on to... And I don't know where the actual... I'm probably going to have no idea where the lost pages start. Probably, I guess, around about here. So you've got some... Obviously, now, these... Then... I mean, I guess that was done from the inked pages. I suppose they've done that, but it just doesn't look like an inked page. I mean, this one as well. There, face there. Again, one of the lost ones. Again, unfortunately, doesn't give you any details. And again, another one that's sort of very sort of Wally Wood looking like. I think so anyway. Maybe not. Everyone probably say, no, that doesn't look a bit like Wally Wood. Just felt it to me anyway. And also another one at the end, very odd, the ha ha ha. I don't know, I assume that was the title. Ha ha, obviously that's the biggest words on there. Something to do with you're in the 14th century, apparently. And then on to some just nice little bits at the end. Obviously some big full page ones there. I guess the ones that they were going to use for, they draw some artwork in there. You can see a bit of a gap there. And I guess likewise with this one, which I suppose they probably removed that central bit there. You can hear the cracks again. That's when it's pretty bad. You think, oh, and that one's nice. It got a bit of a page as well, Tomb 0. And then an afterword as well. And that is that for this book. I really love it. I'm really pleased this collection is out. I love all collections like this of these black and white books because lots of them are so expensive to buy. You try and find these ones and you might find copy, and I have found old copies. Normally pages are falling off, the front cover's coming off, and normally it's completely brown or whatever from obviously being in the sun for about 15 years. So it's nice to get a real high quality book with all of this superb artwork all in one place. Not every story is brilliant. Some good stories in there, and I definitely think it's really worth picking up for, that sort of price I paid, about 36 odd quid. I think it's a reasonable price for a really substantial, even if it does sort of really crack, and even then it's still very odd. Still. Fantagraphics book, The Complete Web of Horror.